If one were to chronicle Vocaloid's history as a medium, they would, in short time, find themselves upon the landmark piece Servant of Evil. This song is a staple. To this very day, the Pride arc of the Avelius Chronicles serves as some of the most notable introductory Vocaloid songs to the masses. There's something about the life and struggle of Alan Avedonia that charms the listener in a major way. But I'm not really here to explain the convoluted story of Avelius, or to account the events of the narrative. Rather, let's all take a look at an interesting phenomena that occurs en masse with regard to this song. Servant of Evil is an exercise in the suspension and complications of morality. The song is told from Alan's point of view, and even the other songs in the Pride arc do little to show Alan's actions from an outsider's perspective. Oh, and for simplicity's sake, this discussion will avoid discussing content of the story outside of the song. So I'm not going to talk about how Alan is responsible for the death of his adoptive father. He totally is, though. And even though, yes, I know that Nay is technically the one responsible for killing Michelle, the song itself does nothing at all to imply this, and therefore we will be acting under the assumption that Alan is responsible for that as well. Now, the interesting thing about Servant of Evil is how the story is able to make the audience sympathize with its protagonist, even through many actions that are highly morally gray. Alan plays a role in a horrible mass murder, and even his most tragic moment, when he dies by guillotine for his sister, he is saving an awful tyrant who ruined her kingdom and ordered the genocide of everyone who happened to have green hair. Though through this, Alan is considered a hero. People cry with Alan after Michelle's death, mourn him, even though he has done plenty of morally reprehensible actions in his 14 years. The question then is, how and why do we so easily empathize with a murderer? Well, there are plenty of reasons. Moving up in importance, there's the simple fact that Alan is still very much a child. The videos for the song, any of the interpretations anyway, do a lot to mask this. One can easily forgive a listener for assuming that he was in his late teens, but Alan is in fact still a kid. He acts on a very simple set of ideas and morals, making mistakes like a child would. Second is that Alan is conflicted. He cries over Michelle's death, clutching the very dagger he used to stab her. Through this, one gets the impression that Alan is hurt by his own actions. He understands the moral repercussions of his actions, at least in part, but feels like he must do so anyways. And that brings us to the final two reasons why Alan is so sympathetic, and the most powerful factors playing into it. Alan makes very clear and obvious sense as a character. He will do anything to protect his sister, to make her happy. He does everything that he does knowing that his actions are wrong. But even so, the one thing he will not compromise on is his love for his sister, even if it destroys himself or others. As he says towards the end of the song, "If they say that you're evil, I have the same blood flowing through." Empathy is born within the audience when they can place themselves into the shoes of a character or person. In this, Alan's very clear train of thought allows for easy empathization. What makes him very sympathetic, though, is the relatability of his ideas. Everyone has someone they love. Everyone knows the feeling of that agape love, or at least can understand such an emotion. I think that more than anything, people respect Alan's devotion. It's easy enough to say that you would give anything for the one you love, but Alan facing his execution, facing the masses cursing him for all their misfortune, and doing so with a smile, never once breaking the facade, is powerful in a way that little is in such a short amount of time. And that really gets to the core of what's so interesting about this song. It speaks of redemption and the goodness inherent in people. The story, at least self-contained in this one song, constructs a brilliant tragedy because everyone is understandable and has good in them. In that way, the best thing Alan ever did for his sister was allow her to be redeemed. During the revolution, Rillian concludes that she was not worth it, that Alan should not be persecuted for her sins. But even so, all Alan has ever done is see the good in people. And through his actions, Rillian is able to walk the path of redemption after his death. Within the story of evil, Alan, the servant of evil, makes a powerful statement that there really is no evil in this world. People are capable of doing and being almost anything. No matter how reprehensible someone may seem, no one is beyond salvation. Whether or not they deserve such forgiveness is a different matter entirely, but regardless, there is good in everyone. Everyone feels the same things, loves, hates, and grieves. Alan is not a hero. But even so, the song asks that we never stop looking at people as people, and always move forward with love in your heart. And that is Alan's strength as a protagonist. That is why it's so easy to empathize with him, and that is what makes him such an interesting character. Thank you.